Okay, so this is part 3 of chapter 11, organic chemistry, naming the compounds. So basically, what you have over here is you have 3 carbons. So what you do is you find your largest string of carbon. Over here we only have 1. So it's 1, 2, 3. And you're going to go to table P, which is right over here. Go to how many number of carbon atoms. We see 3 is prop. So I'm going to write down on my side over here. Sorry. Oopsies. We're going to write down prop. Now, afterwards, how do I know if it's either, we know that all hydrocarbons end with enes, or enes with an E or enes with a Y. So how do we know which one is which? We said this before. We're going to check if there's double or single or triple bonds. We see that all the bonds between the carbons are single. Therefore, it has to be, ane. So it's propane. Now, let's say this one right here was a double bond, which means obviously that these 2 hydrogens are not needed. Then what it would be propene with an E. Let's say this was a triple bond. Then, of course, these 2 hydrogens are not needed. Then it would be propene with a Y. Now, I'm going to go, let's say, to this example. No, 1 second, sorry. I'm going to go to this example, which looks really complicated. But it actually isn't. It's the exact same thing as before. Why? Because you're going to see that there's still only one thing of C's. It's one string of C's, because I can go through all the C's without picking up my finger. So you're going to count how many C's there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to table P. We find that 5 is pent. I'm going to write down pent. And then again, they're all single bond, so it's pentane. Still pretty simple. Now here's where it starts to get a little bit complicated. Whoopsies. Keep going to the wrong one. Okay, here's where it starts to get a little complicated. First of all, you're going to see over here there's no hydrogens. The reason for this is the hydrogens are not necessary because we can fill them in ourselves. We know that wherever there is a single bond, we need to connect it with 3 other things. So 3 other hydrogens, again, 3 other hydrogens. This only has to be connected to 1 other hydrogen because it's already connected to 3 things, etc. So now, what we're going to do again is find our longest string of C's. Obviously, this is only 2, while this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go over to here and find that 6 is hex. So I'm going to write down hex. Then I'm going to check any double or triple bonds. No, so it's hexane. Now, here's where it starts to get a little bit complicated. Now, we know that there's another carbon there. So how do we know what that carbon is? What we're going to do is, all right, 1 second. Just wanted to check something. Okay, what we're going to do is, in order to find it out, is we're going to see that this is one more, there's only 1 other carbon here. So what we're going to do is, on the second bond, right? Just 1 in the second string that connects to it. So we're going to go back to our table P. What's 1 is meth. So we're going to write over here, methyl. Why? Because our other bonds are always ends with eel. So it's methyl. Now, how do we know that the methyl is in this one over here? Maybe it's over here. We don't know. So how do we know? The way we know is by putting a number to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark your C's, in your longer string, both ways. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what you're going to do is, you're going to see where your thing is over here. The lower number is your 2. So you're going to write down 2-methylhexane. The reason you're going to do it both ways is because if I'm just going to say 2-methylhexane, you don't know if it's over here, if it starts from here, or if it starts from here. And the way you know is it's always the lower number. So you always have that your string is the lower number. So it's 2-methylhexane. And that is your name for this long, complicated string that it looks like.